From a creepy castle that mysteriously caught fire, to a giant drop ride cutting a girl's foot off, we take a look at 5 of the deadliest theme park accidents of all time. Number 5. Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom. Batman is not the only bloodthirsty superhero ride in the Six Flags family. The Superman Tower of Power at Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom was the site of its own grisly accident. The Superman ride lifts its passengers about 17 stories and then subjects them to a dizzying freefall. Unfortunately, on June 21, 2007, a cable broke, wrapping around 13-year-old Caitlin Lassiter's neck and legs. She was able to free the cable from around her neck, but it snapped taut around her legs as the ride descended, severing her feet. Surgeons were able to reattach the girl's right foot. Shortly thereafter, the ride was removed from the park. Number 4. New Jersey Carnival. A 26-year-old volunteer firefighter was cleaning up the grounds from a recent carnival when he wandered off to slide down an enormous 3-story slide. The slide was extremely wet from recent heavy rains, causing the man to slide so fast that he hit a dip in the ride and bounced through the air, cracking his head against the surface and losing consciousness. He was later pronounced dead. There must be something about New Jersey and slides, because in July of 1998, another person was killed on a similar slide. A 19-year-old kid broke into a closed park in Ashbury Park, New Jersey, to ride the Mega Slide. All was well until he reached the end, where a metal chain was strung along the width of the slide. He suffered a lacerated liver and ultimately bled to death. Number 3. The Sizzler, Easter Week Carnival. A 7-year-old boy was killed while on the Sizzler, a ride at the Easter Week 2007 carnival in the southern Arkansas town of Hope. Allegedly, the boy and his mother were late arriving at the ride, and a miscommunication, perhaps due to the fact that they spoke Spanish and the ride operator spoke English, prevented their chair from locking properly before the ride was started. The boy and his mother both fell out shortly after the Sizzler began its run, and the boy was struck in the head not once, but twice. When he was on the ground, he stood up, and the chair hit him. The boy stood again only to be struck in the head once more. He was quickly transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead from traumatic brain injury. Number 2. Six Flags Great Adventure, Jackson Township. Six Flags Great Adventure's Haunted Castle attraction was typical of most haunted houses. A quick walk through a darkened space where employees dressed as ghosts and goblins leaped out to frighten you. But on May 11, 1984, parkgoers experienced true horror when the castle burst into flames. Most of the attraction's visitors were able to make their way to safety, a few suffering smoke inhalation, but 8 teenagers became trapped and died in the blaze. Their bodies were torched beyond recognition and had to be identified by dental records. In the wake of the tragedy, the park would be brought up on charges, as the haunted castle lacked basic safety precautions like sprinklers and smoke detectors. However, Six Flags escaped responsibility for the incident, as the castle was considered a temporary structure. Number 1. The Big Dipper, Battersea Fun Fair. In 1951, Battersea Park in London unveiled the Fun Fair as part of the Festival of Britain. The major attraction at the fair was the Big Dipper roller coaster, though it did not appear nearly as intimidating as some of the twisted steel monstrosities seen at theme parks today, although the Big Dipper was extremely dangerous. In 1972, there was a terrible accident when one of the coaster's cars broke loose and rolled back into the station. 5 children were killed and many more injured. The incident would mark the death of the Battersea Fun Fair, which limped on until 1974 before shutting down.